Right, let's go. Let's do the return flight. 4. Right, let's go. Let's do this return flight from Dublin to Luton. I was just setting up the SimBrief and whatnot. Took me a couple of minutes to do all of that. Setting up Volanta and whatnot. Okey-dokey. Let's have a look as to what's going on. So, cool. We are here at stand 313, where we left off yesterday. So we'll begin from here. Right, so let's start the flight here, and we have got our data, so we can do this. Start getting some of the some of the services connected. So let's load load up. Okay. Let's start with our load details here from SimBrief. So we've got the load sheet there and payload. Fuel we're carrying today 5.5 tons. Payload today we have of 14 tons, the 13,980, but we'll round it up to 14 tons there. All within the envelope, that's looking good. Right, so let's get started. We've got ground power, so we'll just keep that connected for now. Let's align the iris. And in just a second, we'll need to put in our position in the FMC, so let's do that. I'll select the FMC here. Index ident. Flight deck access, so let's get the door closed here. Let's presume we've got the emergency equipment. ELT guard is closed. PSEU light is extinguished. GPS light is extinguished. Service interphone is confirmed off. Engine panel, no light. Oxygen panel is guard closed and no lights there as well. Landing gear light is illuminated with 3 greens. Flight recorder guard closed. Guard is closed. Do the store warnings. Interesting. Right, I'm not getting sound on that. We can come back to that later. Manual extension door is closed. Parking brake is on. Confirm that. Okay, prelims are done. Let's get the FMC prepared up now. EIDW, which is Dublin, to EGGW, which is Luton 01. Departing runway 28 right. Yep, that's good. It's looking good. Can execute that, and let's look at the data here. So our groat weight is 62.6. Yep, confirmed. That cruising altitude today is going to be flight level 350. Fuel burn, we have 2.2 tons, so quite a fair bit of reserves. Let's go back and check the intent for that. So our reserves today is going to be 2.4, 2.5 tons. So we'll put that in the FMC. 2.5. Our cost index today is 54, as calculated by SimBrief. Set the N1 limits. Flat 5's for departure, and we have our QRH info there, and the trim 4.5. So let's go ahead and set that now. 4.5 is set. Cool, everything looks good on the FMC. Let's go back and continue with our checklist. Flights we can test now. Might as well set this now. 10:18 is the QNH at Dublin at the moment. We've got light rain apparently. Not raining at the moment, but apparently there'll be light rain. And set this to 20 for departure, and we can set our radio altimeter, which will be minimums. We can set as 300 feet. Come over to the MCP, so let's look at our V2 speed. 145 plus 20, 165. Set on the panel. (277) is our departure heading. Runway heading 277. Initial altitude is flight level 90 or below. Flight directors can go on. LNAV, VNAV selected. Oxygen is tested. Clock is set 11:27 GMT, 12:27 BST. Nasal steering is guard closed. Display panels we have set. Takeoff config light is extinguished. Cabin altitude light is also extinguished. 1 and 2 are good. Let's check. Perhaps are too bright. Turn it down a bit, that's good. Standby instruments, we can set this to QNH1018. Standby RMI is good as well. Speed brake lever is down. Reverse thrusters are down. And forward thrust levers are closed. Lamp lever is set to 0, indicated 0. Parking brake is now set. Should have been set already. Engine start levers cut off, and they are cut off. Stabilizer trim is on normal. Let's say we've got our equipment sorted. Go back. Pretty fine for the first officer's side. Let's look at the battery and ground power. Yes, ground power, which we're using right now. APU as needed, so let's turn the APU on at this point. Equipment cooling is set to normal. Emergency exit lights, guard closed, passenger signs are set to auto. Windshield wipers are parked. Window heat can now go on. Probe heat remains off until engine start. Wing anti-ice not required, engine anti-ice not required. Hydraulics panel, we can set both electrics on there now. Air conditioning panel is 35,000 feet, and landing altitude we can leave that at 0 for now. But set for cruise 35,000. Lighting panel we can have steady, and the anti-coal lights on for now as well. Ignition left or right, so we can leave that on right. That's absolutely fine. Engine start is both on off. MCP, we can confirm and cross-check. EFIS panel does presume span clock and display panel. Engine display panel. Go on altitude. Aircraft config light is extinguished. Cabin altitude light extinguished. 2. Yeah.
Light slow. Pull up. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Terrain. Terrain. Pull up. Obstacle. Obstacle. Pull up. Airspeed low.
GPWS is checked. Landing gear panel. 3 greens. 3 greens. Landing gear lever is down. Auto brake. Rejected takeoff selected. Anti-skid up. Anti-skid in-op is extinguished. 2. Engine instruments are good and checked. Cargo fire panel checked and tested. Again, let's presume we've got our radios all set. We can go in and turn the transponder, and that is all set to normal. Right, let's push back. Let's get the doors closed first and foremost. We didn't attach the jetway, but let's presume it was a Ryanair special when we had the stairs. That's absolutely fine. So now that we've got APU, let's get
Alright, we've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
APU power is there. So what we can do is disconnect the ground power as well. GPU's disconnected, no ground power available. Okay, it's a 2-8 departure, so let's quickly open up the map and see where we need to go. Okay, let's see. 2-8 right. So So we need our nose pointing towards the north, and then we can taxi via Foxtrot 3, and then right onto November 1 onto 28 right. Okay, so let's go that way.
Ground to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Will do.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Cool, let's get the pushback started. And as per our meta, we did see a bit of rain forecast, light rain. So we've got clouds at 2,300, a few clouds at 2,300, broken at 3-1. Cool.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Cool. Can see that bit of rain. Let's get the weapons. The aircraft's being lifted now.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
New parking
Starting
brake
pushback and you
is
may start
released.
engines.
Okay, let's go for the engine start. Engine 2 first. Set that on ground. Monitor N2. N2 at 25. We will set fuel cutoff to idle. N225. Fuel cutoff number 2 to idle. Monitoring N1, EGT. Startup valve closed and engine start switch turned off. Okay, let's start engine number 1. Got the sun in the display there, so let's move over. Okay, we're at 25 now. Switch the door. Okay, engine 1 starter switch disengaged and off. Engine 1 and 2 have started. Okay. Let's connect those generators. In fact, let's go back to the checklist and do that. Yeah, generators 1 and 2 have just gone on. Proheat net can now come on to. Again, engine anti-ice and wing
Operation
anti-ice not
complete.
required.
Set parking brake.
Parking brake
Disconnecting
is
tow.
set.
Stand by.
Pack switches auto. Isolation valves auto. APU bleed is off. APU switch can now go off as well. Engine start switches to continuous for departure. Engine start levers are idle. Both checked. Ground equipment clear. Let's wait for the signal.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time and have a great flight.
Thank you very much. Let's wait for that hand signal on the right there. Flap lever we can set to 5 for departure. Okay, let's get that hand signal. Yep, that's the bypass pin. And hand signal is ground equipment clear, hand signal received. Flap lever is set to 5. Flight controls, let's check those. Full left, full right, full aft, and full forward. Okay, checked. Lower to you. We can clear that now. Let's go back. Okay, so let's start the taxi. What we can do here is start the timer as well, just to monitor our taxi time. Again, we've got 20 minutes standard taxi fuel. Shouldn't require nearly as much as that. Let's turn the yaw damper on there. I was wondering why the flight control warning was there. Okay, so we can start turning left here and get off the apron.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Okay, turn right onto Foxtrot 3. Straight onto Foxtrot India. And then we will turn... actually, no. Hang on, let's just get straight on this first and then... Right, let's see where we're going. We're on Fox 3, we can turn slightly left to merge onto F0, Foxtrot 0, in just a moment. Yep, so Foxtrot out, can go this way. Okay, it's not raining much, so what I'm gonna do is park the wipers there. Right, we're on F out. We can go all the way down to November. Turn right on November, and we should be good. November 1, and then left on to runway 28 right. Okay, we can turn right here onto November. Okay, let's assume we've got our clearance, departure clearance. Let the cabin crew know there, so we're still taxiing on November. Slow it down a little bit, 24 knots, 24 knots ground speed. Okay. Still in November, now entering November 1. And then left turn onto this November 1 to runway, threshold of runway 28 right. Right, here we are. Taxi time was 6 minutes, so we can reset that, and then we can go to, as we enter the runway, we can do elapsed time for our flight time. Landing lights can come off, taxi lights can go off. Engine start is on continuous. Strobe lights are on. Other lights as needed. TARA is already on. Fixed landing lights are on. 40 and then Toga. Then we should be good. Okay. Thrust to 40. and stabilized. Engaging toga. Checked.
D1, rotate. Positive rate.
Positive rate, gear up.
$400.
100 feet, let's engage
1,000.
autopilot and auto throttle as well. Oh gosh, done the same mistake as yesterday, so we need to swap those keys around. Flaps are going up. So I had this issue yesterday as well, where when I engaged toga, I don't know if it's my throttle, got the TCA Airbus pack. I don't know if it's the throttle that's messing up, but it always disengages auto throttle right on departure. But obviously at that time I'm not gonna faff around with anything, so I just on manual I push it all the way forward to N1 required, and then yeah. Right, anyway, gear is off. Flaps we have selected up. Speed is 210, that's probably a limitation here, yeah, so until we get to DW129, so transition altitude is, let's say, 6,000. Let's go to standard, we're at 5 and climbing. So once we're out the restriction, the speed should go up to 250. Toga was engaged, rotated about 15 degrees. Landing gear is up. Flap, retract. Scheduled. VNAV autopilot is selected. Engine start switch can go back to off. A speed brake. Auto brake can go to off. Landing gear lever is off. Checklist complete. Takeoff procedure is done. Climb and cruise. So landing lights will need to go off above 10,000. Yeah, here we are. Out of the speed restriction. Now we've got an altitude restriction of flight level 090 or below at
1,000 to go.
DW124, Delta Whiskey 124. So we've got 9,000 set on the panel, 1,000 to go enunciated as well. So there's our restriction there, flight level 90 at DW124, about 3 miles out from it. .230 is the next restriction. We can climb up to flight level 230. We select the nav again. We should start climbing, and there we are on schedule. We are climbing. By the time we get to EGGW, we are predicted to be Flight level 126. Really climbing fast today, 5,000 feet. Interesting. Right, let's set that to 80. Yeah, that got us flight level 115, so that's fine. Yeah, we're really into that layer now. Okay, we are above 10,000 feet. We can select that off. You can really see we've got a strong tailwind. You can hear it in the cockpit as well. Passenger signs, we're going to keep the seatbelt signs on as there is some turbulence.
To go.
Right, where are we? Any restrictions? No restrictions, so we can set that to 35,000 feet. It's set again. We've got a bit of turbulence. You can really see the wings flexing there, really through the turbulence. We've got a bit of a tailwind. Again, let's see where our location is, and I presume we are going through the jetway, the jetways, jet streams, jetways. Yeah, possibly going through the westerly jet streams, which is sort of indicated as we fly east, bang on east. We've got a full tailwind component there, which should get us to our destination somewhat quicker as well. So let's check the progress page. Distance to go to Alva is 22. Fuel production will be 4 tons. Right now we're on 4.1 tons anyway, so we're 4.2 tons. We're expected to burn around 200 kilograms of fuel, which is sort of in line with what we've got, so that's fine. Beautiful. So we are pretty much just above the tops of the cloud here at 35. We could climb another couple of thousand feet, maybe get a smoother ride. But to be fair, I think we're nicely settled within the jet stream. You can see it's right behind us, and it's pushing us along, helping us with an extra 60 knots of ground speed. Okay, not so turbulent now, even though we've got the tailwind, so what we can do is... Yeah, we've set the seatbelt signs to auto here, so... Cabin altitude is good, not climbing nor descending, and we're at about 7,900. So that's essentially what the folks in the cabin feel like they're at 7,000 feet, which is fine. So before top of descent, we have modified the route for arrival. So we've put in our arrival within the FMC. So I'll just quickly go back to it. And there's the approach drift there. 254 is going to be the course. Hopefully we'll have a better approach this time round. Yesterday's approach was well, not very stable, to be honest. Should have gone round, could have gone round, but it's all good. Can do is put some data in here. So the temperature, it's at 16, 17. Not really required. Okay, so just overhead Stoke-on-Trent now, and we should be starting our descent soon, so yeah, here we are. Top of descent in about 20 miles or so. Let's have a look. So top of descent, 14 nautical miles, 12:20. In 2 minutes time we will start descent. Did not spend much time here at 35,000 feet, and I do wonder if it's more economical just to cruise at a lower altitude. But again, it's probably because of the jet stream. We've got a tailwind of 66. The tailwind component will be about what, 50, something like that. We've got turbulence. Yeah, so I wonder if SimBrief has done it based on that. But anyway, our there's our flight plan is all sorted for arrival into runway 25 into Luton. Radios will be set in a minute, but the course already set to 5-4, so we will reset the MCP altitude to 3,000 and 3,000 or above. So let's set that to 3,000 and over. I did see flight level 80 at Zagzo, but I don't see that as a restriction particular. Could be, I can check the charts in a minute, but yeah, so for the standard arrival procedure, we'll be intercepting the ILS at 3,000 feet. So we are just starting our descent now. Required navigational performance is 400. Ours is 50 feet discrepancy, and we're not even 50 feet from our desired flight path at the moment. Same with lateral RMP, 1 nautical mile, I guess, deviation left or right, and our actual navigation performance ANP is 0.1. All looking very good. So as we descend through flight level 320, we can announce the descent on the PA system, and then let's have a look at the checklist. So landing altitude, let's verify that. So Luton's 500 feet MSL. Let's go ahead and select that. Select that there. System annunciator recall. No warnings. Excuse me. VREF is entered flap 30. And minimums we set to 300 feet. Let's verify that. In fact, set it on 300 feet is set. Radio nav, let's set that now. So 109.15. So let's switch that to 109.15 on the ILS. And 109.15 on the ILS there as well. Frequency is now set. Auto rate as needed. Set that to 1. And our descent checklist is done. So quite a cloudy approach. Quite a cloudy descent, not even onto the approach phase yet. Rugby flight level 200 is our next restriction, so let's put that on the MCP. And then we've got another top of descent, all drag required. So with the tailwind, obviously it's pushing us out quite a fair bit. But we've got an altitude restriction, so we are going to, in fact, use some of our spoilers in the air there. Oh my goodness, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We're half a mile away from Rugby, and we are at Rugby now. So we can start. Let's take the speed brake. I know we've just dipped below our desired speed of 300 there, but that's not a problem at all. Cool. So aircraft's going to retrim again because of that speed brake that we had extended. As we are descending, we can keep the while we're climbing here. Interesting. I don't know if we've just had a had an updraft. Vertical navigation kicked out. Interesting. That's not good.
That's
I'm gonna check that. Let's. Reset the MCP to 150 as well. Re-engage VNav because we are about what 500 feet above our 400 feet above our desired. descent path. So speed brakes are fully extended once again. Again, we are catching that up quite quickly, so let's reduce that to half. And in fact, we can go quarter, so only a tiny bit of speed brake deployed as we catch our descent path. Back on desired descent path, speed brakes are retracted once again. It's not a flap 15 landing, so we can switch that. I know we are at 17, so we would normally do this closer to 10,000 feet, but for argument's sake, let's do that now. Passenger signs, we have switched on the seatbelt signs. Altimeter we can start putting in, but not setting right now because again, it's still above transition altitude of 6,000, so let's set that as
1,000 to go.
1,000 to go checked. We are on the correct descent path. Decel altitude, decel coming up, so let's catch our speed here again. Okay, we can set flight level 80 now on the MCP. And 1021 hectopascals can go on the yeah, 1021 is set. Okay, so our top of descent from flight level 150 is in about 10 miles. And then we've got another decel coming up. So altimeter is set. Update RMP. RMP is looking good. RMP lateral is 0.2, vertical is 50 feet. We are now decelerating as well. Don't think we need to help the decel right now. At Woburn we need to be 250 or below. So in fact, I'm going to help it decel slightly faster here because Woburn's only less than 2 miles away right now, 1.5. So let's help the deceleration here because we've got a restriction of 250 or below at Woburn. So as we approach Woburn now, we're at 253, 220 or below at EGGW. EGGW we're going to be 220, flight level 127. Got another decel coming up, so 220 at EGGW, and what we can in fact do is have a look. Yeah, We're pretty much out of the worst of the weather. That was that piece of cloud layer there. Okay, as we turn left, now we are decelerating even more to oh, auto is clicking out. What's going on here? What's going on here? What's going on here? Why is auto throttle not engaging? Right, what is up with the auto throttle? Cool. So auto throttle engaged, lock throttle, sync hardware throttle. Interesting. So it doesn't seem to be actually doing that though. Oh, I don't know. I'll have to look into that. Okay. Okay. We're approaching flap speed. I don't know what's going on there now. Where's armed? What's going on?
Thousand to go.
Getting the flaps out here real early just because I don't know what's going on with the auto throttle. Right. Speed brake can go up or down. Which way you look at it? So 175. Yeah, we've sort of decelerated a bit too early. I'll keep flaps at 2. That's fine. That's not a problem. At fit me we're going to be 175 anyway, and then 155. Let's just have a look at the speeds. Yeah, they've updated to 142. That's fine. Oh gosh, I didn't set 3000. I was wondering why we're not descending. Fine, we're only 800 feet, we should be able to catch that up. Let's slow down further. Okay, we're getting back on the descent path here, less than 100 feet, so gradually taking the speed brakes down. And then they can go down. That's perfect. Okay, so we want to be intercepting fit me at 3000 feet or above, speed 175. We are a little bit slower than that. I've selected flaps 5 already, but that's because obviously we were a little bit high. So 40 minutes into our flight, 50 minutes in, we're looking good. We're stable now, and as we start the turn in a couple of miles, let's take this to
1,000 to go. Thousand to go.
okay, speed brakes armed. If you remember, we can arm the approach and localizer capture. We can verify in a minute. So there's the localizer there. Just waiting for localizer capture. Let's verify that. Get rid of that annoying white arrow. So as we start turning right, we should see the localizer capture in just a moment. Yeah, localizer alive. Okay, glide slope alive and captured. So gear down. Gear down 3 greens. Flaps we set to 15. Engine to continuous speed. Brake is armed and illuminated. Flap lever as directed on MCP. Altitude is set to 3000. Let's see what IMCP altitude is. Yeah, 3000 vectors for missed approach. Okay. So speed now we can set to 155. VREF +5 147. Let's get that set. And there's the runway there, we can see just there. And then there's that town of Luton just behind. Okay, approach is looking stable. We're well within range for both. Okay, so single channel, 1500 above ground level, goes to dual channel. Land 3, flare and roll out, but obviously we'll be taking over. In fact, you know what? Let's be brave and take over at 1,000 feet.
Approaching minimums. 3 minimum.
Continue.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Alright, again, not the best of landings. I don't know what's going on with the approaches. I will have a look as to what I'm doing wrong, because obviously there's something I'm doing very wrong here. Anyway, we live and learn. We are on the ground. Oh, very fast. Okie dokie. Let's take out all of these lights then, shall we? That's my bad. Distracted. Cool. Flaps can go up. And speed brakes. Retracted. Switch that off. And then we can start taxiing. Okay, so let's see. Let's taxi over to. In fact, let's taxi over to the same gate that we departed out from yesterday. So that I believe was 14. Taxiing slightly faster here. Slow it down. Okay, park brake on. Get the engines.
Flight attendants, prepare doors for arrival, please. Cars taking all calls.
Right, here we are. Here we are. Can actually, Get the doors open. And extend the air stairs. Set the chocks and connect the ground power units. So battery can go off. Ground power unit connected. Okay. There we are, another flight done and dusted.